For hundreds of years, rural Bangladesh has been practicing mediation at the community level to resolve conflicts. Villagers actively participated in this mediation. Usually, the wise and aged community members conducted these meetings. Both the wrongdoer and the victim were able to share their opinions. According to the decisions taken at the meetings, the wrongdoer would take responsibility to repair the harm. That is how the social peace and harmony was maintained in the community. Restorative justice is being practiced in many countries. Bangladesh has also started practicing restorative justice. However, we need to remember that restorative justice is not the alternative of the formal justice system. It is a participatory method which can be applied to resolve and reduce minor crimes, and at the same time establish peace and harmony in the society. The voices of the community, representatives of the local government, and RG facilitators under the piloted activities are presented in this video. Women can share their words openly with me at the restorative justice meetings. As a CBO member, I have been working with mediation for the last 10 years. Currently, I am working as a restorative justice facilitator. People love me and respect me for my work.
I am a trained RJ facilitator. We resolve compoundable and minor conflicts or wrongdoings in the society through restorative justice. For these reasons, we try to settle these issues by sitting together in RJ meetings. I have been working with mediation for a long time. Now I work as an RJ facilitator. People inform me about issue and then I visit the place of the incident. I try to find out information about the incident from both parties. Then I ask for the consent in resolving the issue through RJ. If they agree, we sit together on a fixed date. We ensure to involve a limited number of attendees at the meeting so that they can openly share their opinions, which eventually leads to the best solution.
I am a member of the Union Parishad. Whenever people come to me to resolve minor wrongdoing, I try to understand the incident first. I take initiative to only resolve conflicts that are compoundable. At the same time, I motivate the other UP members to resolve compoundable conflicts through restorative justice. Both the victim and the wrongdoer are heard equally in the RJ process. Victims get reparation through a consensus, and wrongdoer get the opportunity to correct their harmful behavior. I lent 15,500 taka to one of my neighbors, but I didn't get it back. Then I informed it to the RJ facilitator. An RJ meeting was held regarding my issue. According to the decisions taken at the RJ meeting, I finally received my money back. I didn't have to spend a single penny for this restorative justice meeting, and I am now on good terms with my neighbor. I had taken a loan from my neighbor and I failed to pay it back in time. The neighbor informed it to the CBO leaders. A complaint was made against me. I recognized the complaint. In the RJ meeting, decision was taken through participation of all parties. The decisions were very convenient for me. I was able to do this without taking loans from others, as it was easier for me to pay off the loan in installments.
It becomes easier to take the right decision when the wrongdoer recognizes that she or he did a harm. At the same time, it also makes it easier when the victim asks for a reasonable reparation. It saves time and results in a better solution.
There are 3 stages in the restorative justice: preparation, RG meeting, and then the follow-up. At the first stage, we take consent from both parties. Then we take decisions together at the restorative justice meeting, which is the second stage. At the third stage, we implement our decisions and then follow up accordingly.
My tree was cut down by someone, so I informed the urge facilitator. We sat in a circle at the restorative justice meeting. When they listened to the wrongdoer first, I was a bit frustrated. But then, as soon as he recognized his wrongdoing and felt ashamed, I started feeling pity for him. I did not ask for any reparation from him. I just forgave him.
3 parties take decisions together at the restorative justice meeting: the victim, the wrongdoer, and the community representatives. We do not enforce any decision. We follow up the decision. Someone from us takes up the responsibility to follow up the decision. Furthermore, the family members and the community carefully observe the wrongdoer so that he or she doesn't get involved in wrongdoing again.
One day I visited a urge meeting in my community, and I found a completely new process. I really liked it because I saw that the wrongdoer pled guilty himself. It took a much shorter time to resolve the conflict. Then, out of curiosity, I asked the facilitator what would happen if this person lied. He said that he would have postponed the urge meeting. They would not pressure the wrongdoer to recognize the truth. The best part of urge is that the wrongdoer admits his or her wrongdoing of harmful act willingly. That's how the bond between the victim and the wrongdoer becomes stronger. I found that the conflict was resolved very peacefully and both the parties were quite happy. I felt really happy to see this. Our community will continue to be peaceful land, harmonized if we practice this sort of conflict transformation process through restorative justice in the future.